Ladies and gentlemen, parliamentary, proceeding with our agenda, it is a huge satisfaction that we decided that we dedicate this fourth session, work session, to the theme of inter-parliamentary cooperation for a responsible and inclusive artificial intelligence. We highlight points that seem to us central for our debate. The guarantee of transparency and ethics in artificial intelligence, mitigating the prejudice of algorithm and guaranteeing of fundamental rights, the strengthening of privacy and safety, data safety, assuring the digital sovereignty of the country members, and the promotion of partnerships among governments, private sector, and academia, fostering innovation and sharing the knowledge and artificial intelligence. The BRICS parliaments must act to ensure that regulating artificial intelligence, the human rights shall be respected, the diversity of power and culture that avoid illicit prejudice and abusive beyond guaranteeing the responsibility of the creating companies. The sharing of good practices among legislators of BRICS strengthens a technological governance of a plural way, cooperative and inclusive, that ensure the privacy, the sovereignty of the data, the cybersecurity, and also the protection of intellectual property and copyrights. I reassure the trust in this presidency and the capacity of this event in order to build a better future for the people that we represent. Overall, in a matter of such importance, with implication by the extent we haven't reached in its plenitude for several areas of the human life, and also to define our place in the international community in the future that is already here. Thank you very much. In order to organize the work, I'd like to clarify that each speaker may use the word for 5 minutes in order to fulfill our agenda and the equal distribution of time for the representatives. The audio system of the plenary is programmed to make beep a siren 1 minute before the time of the speaker in order to come to a conclusion, and the microphones will be turned off after 5 minutes. I also request that all speak in a very slow and paused way for the simultaneous translation can reflect the pronunciations with the maximum precision. I'd like your comprehension and cooperation with these necessary rules in order to have a good session. Now I grant the floor for 5 minutes to Mr. Alexander Yukov, Vice President of the Lower Chamber of Russia.
Dear Mr. President, and dear colleagues and participants, artificial intelligence is a key technology of the 21st century. It progresses really fast. For the last 2 years, almost 60% of companies, Russian companies, implemented and tested the technologies. We see that the growth opens great technologies for the reducing inequality and achieving balanced economic growth. According to some estimates, By 2030, they realized economic potential from the implementation of AI technologies in BRICS countries could amount to between 350 to 600 billion US dollars. Artificial intelligence are also actively developed and being applied in such countries as Brazil, China, India, and other countries. The Russian Federation is constantly developing its AI policy based on the principles of equality, trust, security, and respect for national sovereignty. These principles are enshrined in key official documents, above all in the National Strategy for the Development of Artificial Intelligence approved by President Vladimir Putin in 2024. Russia initiated the creation of the BRICS Plus International Alliance on AI, a platform for coordinating approaches to the development and application of AI. This initiative has united 17 national AI associations and institutes from 14 countries. We invite other countries and organizations to join this initiative. In one city in Moscow, more than 100 projects using AI are being implemented in various areas of urban management, chatbots and voice assistants, intelligent monitoring systems for construction and urban improvement, computer vision healthcare, recommendation services, and more. Developed particularly in the field of the healthcare for several years, neural networks have been assisting doctors in detecting pathologies on X-ray images, gathering medical history, and selecting optimal treatments. AI technologies can also help shorten the time required to develop new medicines. It's also been actively introduced in public administration. Bureaucratic procedures are being automated, and a qualitatively new level of oversight and decision-making is being ensured. Moreover, artificial intelligence was even used last year in drafting the federal budget of the Russian Federation. Generative AI tools can fairly accurately predict natural disasters, analyze tables and charts, and solve complex mathematical and physical problems using optimal methods and in just a few spans. In the past year, we observed a lack of sufficient. We consider it necessary to develop. We agree that the parliaments of BRICS countries may play an integral role in developing a national legal framework that ensure transparency, safe use of artificial intelligence. At the same time, we observe a lack of sufficient legal frameworks in the field. We agree that the parliaments of BRICS countries may play an integral role in developing national legal frameworks that ensure transparency and ethical, safe use of artificial intelligence. We consider it's necessary to develop common international ethical standards and safety rules in the field of AI. Russia has already proposed its own AI ethics code, which sets out general ethical principles and standards of conduct that should guide participants in AI-related activities. It affirms the human being and their rights and freedom the highest value. To date, more than 900 companies and organizations, including government agencies, have joined the Russian AI ethics code. Signatories include representatives from over 20 countries. The State Duma of the Russian Assembly of the Russian Federation has adopted a federal law on conducting an experiment in the city of Moscow. We are ready to share we have adopted a separate statement by BRICS leaders. These would send a strong, useful message in the countries of the Global South. We are ready to share our development experience with our colleagues, and we also propose that fellow parliamentarians consider establishing an internal expert group to develop balanced approaches to AI regulation. We believe that BRICS is capable not only of expanding sectorial cooperation in the field of AI, but also of developing joint approaches on relevant multilateral platforms, first and furthermore within the United Nations. We support the initiatives of the Brazilian presidency to adopt a separate statement by BRICS leaders on AI governance that would send a strong and useful message that the countries of the Global South and East are closely monitoring the development of these technologies and are prepared to defend their interests and are open to our cooperation with countries ready for constructive engagement. Thank you very much for your attention.
Now I invite Mr. Wang Ke, member of the China Parliament.
Mr. President, colleagues, right now, AI has become an important driving force for the new round of technological revolution and industrial transformation, bringing enormous opportunities for countries' economic and social development. However, AI also comes with unpredictable risks and challenges. These calls for greater cooperation and coordination. Certain country is obsessed with building small yard and high fence in AI. This disrupts the integrity of international supply and industrial chains and weakens our ability to cope with challenges and risks. We must attach greater importance to it and respond to these challenges together. Last year, President Xi Jinping in BRICS Summit in Kazan last year put forward that we need to build a BRICS committed to innovation and act as pioneers of high-quality development. BRICS countries have already established AI Study Group and AI Alliance. China BRICS AI Development Cooperation Center has already been launched. In May, during the meeting of industrial ministers, together with Brazil, we hosted a high-level forum and achieved positive outcomes. In the second half of this year, the center will provide training programs for BRICS countries. We welcome BRICS members and partner countries' active participation. Going forward, we need to seize the historic opportunity of innovation and development and jointly respond to challenges presented by rapid development of AI to ensure AI becomes a global public good that truly benefits humanity. Legislative bodies must make the following efforts. First, to ensure AI for good, we must use common values of humanity as a guide to effectively prevent the malicious abuse of AI, to ensure safe, reliable, and controllable AI. Second, to ensure innovation and openness, we need to provide a sound social environment and a legislative guarantee to help BRICS countries conduct exchanges and cooperation on AI basic research and frontier technology to better boost BRICS countries' economic and social development. Third, to ensure inclusiveness and universal benefit, we need to push for international support for developing countries in strengthening capacity building and advance universal benefit of networks, computing, and data, bridge North-South gap, and work together to build an open, inclusive, and non-discriminatory environment for AI. We need to provide legislative support to provide low threshold and low cost AI services to achieve larger scale digital inclusiveness. Fourth, to ensure cooperative governance, we need to prioritize both development and safety, strengthen the synergy of development strategies, governance rules, and technical standards. We must, with the help of existing mechanisms, like those within the BRICS, to actively participate in global governance, to increase the say of the Global South, and make sure the international community can implement the Global Digital Compact and forge widely accepted global governance framework and standards and norms within the UN auspices. Colleagues, as a major country in AI, China always takes a responsible approach to global AI governance. In October 2023, President Xi Jinping put forward Global AI Governance Initiative and provided China's proposals for AI development and governance. For the 78th session of the UN General Assembly, China presented the resolution on enhancing international cooperation on AI capacity building. To strengthen international cooperation on AI, which was co-signed by 143 countries. This is the first consensus document in the world to focus on AI capacity building. It reflects the common cause of the international community. China also pulls forward AI capacity building action plan for good and for all, and has organized 2 workshops on AI capacity building, and actively conducted cooperation and exchanges with developing countries. In July this year, China will host the World AI Conference in Shanghai. We welcome your active participation. China actively establishes and improves our legal systems for AI. We have introduced cybersecurity law, data security law, personal information protection law, and measures to regulate generative AI services. Going forward, we will work on the legislation on safe AI and healthy AI. The National People's Congress will work with legislative bodies of BRICS countries to strengthen exchanges and cooperation, to promote development, security, and outcomes, to inject new impetus into high-quality development of BRICS, greater BRICS cooperation. Once again, thank you. I'd like to thank BRICS, Brazil, for your thoughtful arrangement and hospitality. Thank you.
Convido o senhor Mustafa Torreri, membro do Parlamento do Irã.
I'd like to invite our colleague member of the Iranian Parliament.
In the name of God, ladies and gentlemen, I am so glad to attend this meeting, which is related to the very important issue. We are in a situation that the BRICS countries are in various stages of development of regulations of artificial intelligence. This incongruity of laws not only confuses the economic activists and technology, but actually brings up a barrier for exchange of data and transboundary engagement in AI. In this regard, it is suggested that moving toward alignment of standards and common law among BRICS countries should begin. This kind of alignment not only will facilitate internal cooperation, but rather will change BRICS into a unified voice comprising emerging economies in governments as AI. Dear colleagues, based on the analysis, because of the alignment of the strategies of BRICS countries regarding AI, this group can actually change into a transformative force in international governance on AI. Suggestions including the following. 1. In order to better organize this synergy, we should establish a specialized multilateral agency on AI, especially for BRICS. It can have 3 missions. 1, coordination of standards, oversight on risks, facilitating exchange of knowledge and data to facilitate unification. 2, effective use of AI requires strong technical infrastructure and high processing power. These infrastructures include the following: data centers, big data centers, high-speed connection networks and advanced processing power, sustainable energy resources to provide for the data centers, cooperation of BRICS countries on joint investment, development of supercomputers, and diversification of hardware network, standardization of technical know-how, and creating frameworks for data and exchange of data among BRICS countries, which can have a great role in empowering the whole BRICS countries. 3. Data as a raw material for AI has a key role in advancing this technology, which requires governance and management. Although BRICS countries, each of them have their own attitude towards data, especially personal and strategic ones, and these differences can bring about barriers on free exchange of data among BRICS members. However, without sharing various data, development of great algorithms will be very slow. In this regard, we suggest that although despite the fact that we observe privacy of countries, we should also create frameworks for safe transfer of data among BRICS member states, and joint storage for data should be established. Bilateral and multilateral agreements for facilitation of transfer of data should be concluded. 4. Another issue is the expansion and development of human capital. Specialized and innovative and powerful human power is the greatest capital for advancing AI ecosystem. The suggestions include the following: purposeful investment on academia and research, programs for exchange of elites, special visa for scientists, incentives for return of the scholars to their own countries, and exchange of experiences in terms of human resources. Dear colleagues, in conclusion, in order to advance these strategic objectives, we suggest that 1. We establish a specialized work group on AI in BRICS within the framework of international bodies in order to follow up the activities of common activities. 2. Establish a joint fund to fund AI activities with the participation of governments and new development bank in order to finance prioritized developments such as regional supercomputers, joint laboratories, and doctorate scholarships. Next, development of a kind of ethical code, and also annual meetings in order to oversee the agreement. We believe that by these steps, BRICS can become a pioneering power in terms of AI. The Islamic Republic of Iran is fully ready to actively participate in this process, and we hope that with the support and cooperation of all members, we will be able to open a new chapter in scientific and technological cooperation within BRICS. Thank you for your attention.
Convido o senhor Mohamed El Salab
member of the Lower Chamber of Egypt.
Ladies and gentlemen,
من أهم القضايا العالمية ذات الأثر العميق في مجتمعاتنا إلا وهي الذكاء الاصطناعي. إن تطور الذكاء الاصطناعي لا يمثل فقط تحولا تقنيا، بل هو تحول جيوسياسي واقتصادي وقيمي وثقافي يتطلب منا دول البريكس أن نبلور موقف مشترك يقوم على مبادئ السيادة الرقمية والعدالة التكنولوجية والتنمية المستدامة.
Stands based on the principles of digital sovereignty, technological equity, and sustainable development. Artificial intelligence has become a central force influencing various aspects of life, from the economy to health, culture, education, government administration, and diverse industries. To maximize its benefits, artificial intelligence must be designed, developed, and utilized in a responsible and ethical manner. One that upholds human values, respects individual privacy, and ensures security and transparency. It should also be inclusive, benefiting all segments of society and nations, without exception or marginalization, particularly countries of the global south and developing nations that require support to bridge the digital gap. As we all know, the BRICS group plays an increasingly important role in shaping the future of artificial intelligence at the global level. This is evident in the outcomes of the group at various levels. For instance, during the recent meeting of BRICS foreign ministers in April, the ministers emphasized the need to develop and manage artificial intelligence in a responsible, secure, reliable, and ethical manner, with a focus on ensuring that all nations, particularly those in the global south and developing countries, benefit from this advanced technology. The joint statement issued by the meeting also called for strengthening international standards for AI governance through the United Nations system and promoting international dialogue to foster innovation and support inclusive economic development. This approach reflects the BRICS vision of building a multipolar global technology order that balances the interests of nations and respects their sovereignty. Additionally, BRICS nations highlight the importance of integrating artificial intelligence with sustainable energy solutions, enabling them to lead digital and economic transformation in a sustainable and competitive manner on the global stage. Our responsibility as parliamentarians extends beyond merely observing technological advancements. It also involves shaping their trajectory and ensuring they serve humanity as a whole, contributing to the construction of more just, prosperous, and inclusive societies. This necessitates a profound understanding of the mechanisms of artificial intelligence, its applications, and the potential social, economic, ethical, and legal implications it may have. We must also draft legislation and regulatory frameworks that govern artificial intelligence, focusing on responsibility and transparency, equity and fairness, data protection and privacy, and establishing ethical principles for the development and deployment of AI. Additionally, we should oversee and monitor government policies, promote public awareness and community engagement, encourage public-private partnerships, and strengthen international cooperation and the exchange of expertise among nations and their parliaments. These objectives can be only achieved through international parliamentary cooperation and collaboration among BRICS nations, involving the exchange of expertise and coordination of common positions in international forums. This ensures the existence of coherent and integrated approaches to artificial intelligence at the global level, builds capacities, and provides budgets that support and keep pace with the tremendous technological advancements in AI, making them accessible without discrimination and differentiation. And responsible and inclusive artificial intelligence is essential to ensure that technology remains a positive force. through robust legislation and strengthen international cooperation. This is what BRICS nations strive for, to enhance technology development, modernize industries, and ensure global governance of this technology. Thank you for your attention.
Now I invite Mr. Jan Pedro Carel, member of the Cuban Parliament, to the floor.
Buenos días. Agradecido con la presidencia brasileña, con la organización de este evento.
Honored to be part of this meeting and to include such an important topic. Distinguished fellow members of Parliament, what brings us together today is a topic that transcends the technological dimension to become the main focus of the debates about the future of our societies. Artificial intelligence is not just a tool. It is a new political, economic and ethical territory that we are called to govern responsibly. From the Global South, and in particular from Cuba, we believe that the states are called to play a central role in the regulation of this technology, without excluding cooperation with multiple actors, but always preserving national sovereignty and the public interest. Is indispensable regulating, but we must do so with intelligence and looking for the right balance. At the base of the technological pyramid, scientific research is there must be as much flexibility as possible, so that the innovation can flourish, knowledge can be shared, and opportunities can multiply. In contrast, at the level of service and applications in which artificial intelligence interacts directly with people, we must legislate the most, guaranteeing transparency and avoid causing harm. This stratified approach also requires that the models on which services and applications are built upon are open, verifiable, and reproducible. Betting on public and auditable models strengthens the ecosystem, reduces technological asymmetries, and fosters fair competition. Open science and ethical sources data should be principles to be shared with academy and industry. In turn, it must be also ensured that there are fair mechanisms to market the results of this research in a transparent and sustainable manner, without monopolistic appropriations that may hinder collective development. Besides, at the application level, not all risks are equal. An AI that recommends movies is not the same as the one that assigns a credit, intervenes in a medical diagnosis, or makes judicial decisions. Therefore, a graded regulatory approach is needed, with clear mitigation strategies according to the level of risk and the cost of use. And that design should be the result of a joint work between scientists, jurists, engineers, legislators, and experts in ethics from a truly multidisciplinary perspective. It is imperative to move towards an effective inter-parliamentary cooperation, allowing us to share the best legislative practices, promote open and ethical standards, and encourage the development of accessible, culturally sensitive, and unbiased technologies. Artificial intelligence cannot become a tool to erode the rule of law, manipulate conscience, or violate the self-determination of people. We likewise condemn the implementation of unilateral measures that are not in accordance with international law and the Charter of the United Nations that impede the full achievement of economic and social development of the population and undermine full access to the information and public AI tools. We are committed to an ethical, humane, safe, and sovereign AI that respects human rights, cultural diversity, and contributes to the understanding among nations. From Cuba, we reaffirm our commitment to multilateralism, to international cooperation, and to a digital transformation that is not at the exclusive service of corporate profits, but of collective well-being. The time to act is now. may not be the market, but the democracy that will act our peoples that dictate the rules of future and express the thought.
Now I hand the floor to Ms. Sara Feleknas, member of the United Emirates Parliament, to have the floor.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, it's a pleasure to address this session on behalf of the Federal National Council of the United Arab Emirates. As we continue into the second day of our forum, we commend the Brazilian Parliament for their ongoing effort in leading our discussions, especially on the vital topic of artificial intelligence. We gather at a time when artificial intelligence is reshaping the global economic at an unprecedented rate. AI is projected to contribute over $15 trillion to the global economy by 2030, with the potential to boost productivity, transform industries, and redefine the future of work. In the BRICS context alone, AI can serve as a strategic equalizer, accelerating development, modernizing public services, and bridging gaps in health, education, and infrastructure. But realizing the full promise of AI demands more than innovation. It requires responsibility. If left unchecked, the same tools that drive progress can also deepen divides. Algorithms must be fair, data must be protected, and growth must reach everyone, not just a few. This is why our governance must be thoughtful, ethical, and inclusive from the start. Your Excellencies, the United Arab Emirates firmly believes that innovation must be human-centered. In 2017, we became the first country in the world to appoint Minister of State for Artificial Intelligence, recognizing early in the importance of embedding AI in our national development strategy. Our UAE Artificial Intelligence Strategy in 2031 outlines a vision for harnessing AI in governing services, education, and economic diversification while safeguarding ethical and societal standards. In parallel, we have enacted legislation on data protection, cybersecurity, and digital transaction, ensuring that innovation is matched with safeguards that uphold the trust of our people. We also launched the Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence, the world's first graduate-level AI university to prepare the next generation of talent and support inclusive digital transformation across the global south. The UAE's approach is grounded in three principles: ethical AI, inclusive innovation, and international cooperation. We are committed to frameworks that promote transparency, counter algorithmic biases, and protect the digital rights and dignity of all people. Excellencies, as BRICS parliaments, we share a collective responsibility to shape how this powerful technology serves our societies. Through our legislative mandates, oversight functions, and diplomatic engagement, we can ensure that artificial intelligence becomes a source for fairness, equity, and inclusive development. This forum presents an opportunity not just to exchange ideas, but to lay the groundworks for a digital future that is secure, human-centered, and leaves no nation behind. Obrigada.
I'd like to invite Mr. Bila, President of the Lower Chamber of India, to the floor.
Honorable President, Officer of BRICS countries and invited nations, esteemed members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, it is a matter of immense pride and honor for me to represent India's perspective on the topic of responsible and inclusive artificial intelligence at this important BRICS Parliamentary Forum. Today, AI is not merely a technology, but is deeply transforming our way of life, work and governance. In Parliament, the use of AI is making legislative process more transparent, efficient and citizen-centric. The Digital Census Initiative has transformed the Indian Parliament into a modern, paperless and fully digital institution. It is a platform that connects members of Parliament, citizens, ministers, all stakeholders, making work faster, more transparent and accessible. With the use of artificial intelligence, old bills, debates, documents and audiovisual records have been digitized to preserve our parliamentary heritage and make it accessible to all. Multilingual tools now help understand content in all of India's 22 constitutional languages, and assistive technologies ensure equal access to persons with disabilities. The Indian Parliament is the only legislature in the world that provides parliamentary documents and translation in all 22 constitutional languages to its members. Members of Parliament can now submit questions, bills, notices online through digital dashboards and also mark their attendance digitally. E-voting in the House is now integrated with multimedia systems. This initiative is a historic step in aligning the Indian Parliament with the needs and expectations of the 21st century. We invite BRICS members nation to experience this initiative of India in which parliamentary cooperation through exchange of knowledge and best practices. India AI Mission, AI for All, AI for Goods, is confluence of ancient values and modern innovations. It promotes technological advancement centered around inclusion, ethics and public welfare, where technology supports justice, equality and human rights. In India, the use of AI is rapidly expanding in priority sectors such as health, agriculture, climate, action, education and governance. Our first indigenous foundation model and over 200 data labs stand testimony to our commitment. Through fellowship of skill building in AI, we are preparing our youth to make AI trustworthy and safe. India is conducting extensive research in deepseek detection, stress testing tools and ethical AI standards which all subscale representative aspects. India has made remarkable progress in digital inclusion. India has 1.5 billion mobile subscribers for 90-70 million interest users. India Aadhaar platform connects over 1.3 billion people, making the world largest digital identity through the JAM identity, the Jan Dhan accounts, Aadhaar and mobile. We have revolutionary financial inclusion through direct benefits, government subsidies reaching the beneficiary directly, plugging leakage and saving over $33 billion, approximately 1% of India's GDP. Unified payment interface UPI has made digital payments accessible to every citizen. In March 2025 alone, UPI recorded 18 billion transactions worth 24 trillion. This transformation is rapidly propelling India towards digital and inclusive economy. During C20 presidency, India played a key role of building global consistent, responsible and ethical AI, which are also leading in developing both technical and legal solutions for data privacy. In 2026, India will proudly host the AI Impact Summit, which aims not just for the actions but for real and lasting impact. The Indian Parliament has laid down a strong legal framework for responsible and ethical AI through legislation like the IT Rules 2021 and Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023, promoting innovation while protecting citizens' rights. India's rapid progress in AI domain has positioned in global AI powerhouse. We have distinct computing infrastructure, promoting indigenous models, developed public digital platform, and even invested in talent development, creating an inclusive and innovation-friendly ecosystem. I recommend that inspirational resolution passed at 149th Secretariat General of the Inter-Parliamentary Excellence is the need of the hour for all nation collaboration develop a shared ethical framework of AI. Parliament must lead in empowering guiding principle and according to the mechanism of ensuring AI becomes a tool for the greater good of society. In conclusion, I reaffirm the underlining of commitment in the Indian Parliament to strengthen global cooperation of the responsible, ethical, inclusive use of AI. I am confident that BRICS countries together will lead the mission to great heights of success. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Senhoras e senhores,
ladies and gentlemen,
embora as pesquisas e os avanços
although the research and advancements in artificial intelligence they have already been gathering through decades, the past years they witnessed an explosion of interest in the subject, starting from the being available to the public in programs based in large language models. The sudden focus in this theme in the public debate has put pressure on the Parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, certainly felt that as we felt here in Brazil as well. As users, they discover new uses, new opportunities, and new challenges, and new dangers of this technology. The debate has risen about its possible regulation. But how to do it? Here's a question that challenges us. The artificial intelligence, they follow a rapid evolution, and their possibilities are still far from being fully explored. How to discipline something that changes so fast? And the other matter, or even more important, how to foster the development of these technologies in our countries. I say that this question is even more serious because if we're not a part of the innovation, we will end up as only consumers, dependent of rules and realities determined by other state actors. If you want to decide about the future of artificial intelligence, we must not only discuss its regulation. We must effectively be a part of its history. The BRICS intention is exactly of defending that all of us be part of the story, that the future of humankind may be discussed for plural voices and molded for more hands. If this is our purpose, so certainly we must collaborate in a determinate subject for the future as of the one of artificial intelligence. In fact, the subject has been mentioned in the deliberation of our group. Even before the theme gaining world attention, the Peking-Beijing Declaration of the 14th BRICS Summit of June 23 and 2022 highlighted the importance of building this approach, this common approach that guides us to the ethical usage and responsible of the artificial intelligence at the same time as it facilitates its development. Alike aspirations, they have been announced in the past year in the Kazan Declaration of the 16th BRICS Summit, when our bloc was already reinforced by new adhesion. The document also cited the resolution number 78/311 of July 1st, 2024 of the General Assembly of the United Nations. We already have a basic reference, and we have now to advance. And this will be remains on us parliamentaries, not only in these days of the meeting, but in the continuous exchange of information and the permanent sharing of experience. For us here in Brazil, it is especially that this meeting happens exactly in the moment that the Chamber of Deputies prepares to the revision of a project, a bill of law about artificial intelligence that was already approved by the Federal Senate. The special committee for the matter was installed on May 20th, and its work frame that predicts activities throughout the year was approved last week. The dialogue by this encounter with the parliamentarians of several parts of the world, it is undoubtedly enriches the comprehension of the subject, helping in the path that we are about to start. Know the maximum of perspectives is our main directive. Conceive good laws under artificial intelligence or any other theme demands be open to the broader debate. Inside the Brazilian society itself, there are several experts, entrepreneurs, and also users of artificial intelligence. It grows at the successful cases and the application of this technology in our territory. As not enough, the country is highlighted by the 89% of its offers in electrical energy, it comes from renewable sources, while the world average is around 30%. This suggests the possibilities, and without taking care of the environmental protection, be a relevant role in a sector there's a high demand of energy. Our main ambition will be put the artificial intelligence and other emergent technologies at service of the well-being of our people. Since our technology is always at the service of people and not those in the service of the other, all the innovation shall be positive. It is clear that every step in the humankind evolution always had its risks. Even the fire that can lighten and heat can burn and destroy. We live in a time that once again humankind, advancing in knowledge and technique, must learn also to use it with wisdom. It's going to be easier to be done with the support with one another, so we are wiser. Thank working together, and we may be able that today and always help us one another to put every new technology at the service of the citizens that we represent. Thank you very much. So before ending this session, since we concluded our works in an early way, I invite all of you to participate in a guided tour to the architectural complex of the Palace of the National Congress, guided by our team, the ceremonial team. I have highlighted as well that these guides will be offered in the English language. The delegation that do have interest, they may find the responsible team and the main exit of the plenary. I'd like also to inform that our work lunch will be available 11:45 is going to be available in the restaurant of the Chamber of Deputies. Our ceremonial teams will help you conducting the delegations to the place of the lunch. And then at 14 o'clock, 2 o'clock, they're going to take the 5th working session of the 11th Parliamentary Forum of BRICS with the theme BRICS Parliaments United for a Multilateral Architecture Reform for Peace and Security. I declare the session closed.